On time, Mina, here we go.
Mina
Yeah, but
here.
I found that you have a mic, and why aren't you using your mic every time?
I don't need it, do I?
Yes, if you're doing a podcast, when do you use your mic? You only use it for TikTok?
Um, I haven't, but I, there's something I need to hook up to.
Okay, I'll have that's what technological advances are. But our topic today, the allure of an aristocracy.
Okay,
Why we can't resist dukes, marquise, and scandal.
okay,
So tell me, what do you think titled heroes like dukes and marquises remain so popular in historical romance?
okay. Um, let's talk about today. And people are fascinated with the life of billionaires, right? We want to know about them. Um, Elon Musk. How many times has he been married? How many kids does he have? Who's he diddling now? So being interested in people with power, money and power, have always been enticing to people. Now, during that particular era, of course, we had the king and the regency, but dukes and marquises, even earls, they were all interesting to read about. They wanted to know what they did, where they went, why they went, how did they get their money, and what kind of fallacies did they have? What kind of flaws did they have? What caused them to get attached to a woman, or why would they want to be attached to a woman when they had so much money? One of the things is they had to have an heir. A lot of these marriages were called convenience or something like that. But a lot of these men fell in love. And it's interesting to read, a, even in a novel. I write novels, but they're pretty much based on the universal things that happen to couples in a relationship. Now the time frame is different, and the morals are different, and the mores are different. But the everybody falls in love, everybody falls out of love, everybody has problems in a relationship, and that's always going to be interesting, especially with people with money. And these people kind of ran the country. They ran parliament. They made the decisions. They own multiple properties. Most of the aristocracy had estates with tenants, and but they also, the smart ones also got into business. It was not acceptable for a man from the aristocracy to go into business, but there was a lot of ways they could do it and make money at it. Stock market was one. Stock market was just beginning in London. So I just think people are fascinated with people that are in power. What is it? How come? How come it didn't happen to me? So I lived through that vicariously, live through that time and get absorbed into that era, fall in love with the characters. That happens. But I particularly love that era because of the distinction of the aristocracy versus merchants versus middle and lower class. You read a lot about, in novels, you'll read about a woman that worked at the house, or a governess that fell in love with the Lord.
All right.
That didn't really it I do know that it happened. I did read about one. He was an earl and he fell in love with the governess, but they were never ever accepted back into the ton. That's what they called the ton.
All right. How do you balance the power dynamics between aristocratic heroes and heroines they fall for?
Um, okay, a lot of the time, um, in my first book and my second book, and coincidentally, the third, these women were ladies. Their fathers were um, earls, something like that. Not an earl was halfway between, you know, but the women should have been strong and verbal, and that was completely counter to the way they really were. But when you're writing today, women want strong women. And so that's what I try to do. I try to give it a balance between the morals of that era and then incorporate some of the expectations that the reader has of a female today. It would probably be rare for a woman to speak out about how she thought about it. It was not uncommon for her to do that in private to her husband or to her friends. But that's the difference today. We can get on here and I can say, well, what they did, that was terrible for women, blah, blah, blah. You would never have done that in public, not ever. You would have been shunned. But women have always had a way to have their voice heard. And a lot of times it's through their husband, or it was through their husband. And
Hmm.
so you want a strong character and you want a woman that appeals to the male. What this particular male, this protagonist, he has certain characteristics. What would cause him to be attracted to this particular woman? And they're different
Hmm.
based on my characters. My four horsemen, they're very similar in a lot of ways, but they're very different. And they look for different things in the woman. I like it.
Can you share one of your favorite scenes you've written featuring a titled hero and what makes it work?
Can I share with you as far as I
Yeah,
can't?
favorite scene.
Um, I think I've talked about this before, but I love this scene, and it's about camaraderie between the best friends. Martin, who's big, he's not fat or anything, he's just a big man, and Frederick, and he's tall and well built, but he's not a mountain. They call Martin a mountain. Anyway, so Martin's trying to find this girl that he saw at the theater. He saw her briefly. He tried to find her that night. He couldn't find her. So he, at long last, he finds out what her name is, and he's pretty sure he knows where she lives. So Frederick and Martin, they're on their horses. They used to ride every morning together. But Martin says, I want to go by this house and see. And he said, well, what? Why are you doing this? I mean, you only saw her one time. And Martin says, I can't help it. I just want to see her. I just need to see her. And so Frederick says, well, what if she walks like a duck? Or what if she laughs like a mule? Or sounds like a hyena? Well, and he just throws all these things at him about how awful she could be, and just that scene always makes me laugh because Frederick is a funny guy and Martin's a little more stoic. They complement each other and they've grown up together since they were in leading strings, but he just really antagonizes him in this scene,
Absolutely.
saying, "What if she's like this?" Or it's good. I like it. Makes me
All
laugh.
right. All
Now
right.
I wrote it.
So, the kind of call to action, book 4, when is it coming?
I had mentioned, I think, in the last time we talked, that it would probably be done the end of June, and I'm right on target for that. The only thing, and I'm glad that we're talking today because Monday I have to get in contact with my artist. I have not heard from her. She's been scarce. And I told her 6 weeks ago I was needing that cover. So
We could take your cover and we could put it in AI, and AI could do it even better than your book cover.
I've had several compliments on the book covers that I've had so far.
So, but you'll have to see if can AI do as well.
Right. So the thing about covers is you need a good description of your book. But before the reader even looks at the description, they see the cover. And if the cover is they're gonna move on, honestly. And the people that talk about how to sell a book, things like that, they always emphasize the importance of a cover. So I like this woman. She's expensive, and when you're on a tight budget, that's tough. If AI could do it,
That I'm gonna get in trouble, but I could care less. So, if people are fans of authors and don't like the idea, I said AI could do a book cover. Comes after me, not Mina. All right, MinaValentine.com. Appreciate it, Mina. Thanks again.
thank you. Have a
All
good
right,
weekend.
that was a special simulcast Neil Haley show on the Mina Valentine.